Welcome to Clobbered. I'm Fagin. He's the apple dodger.
Or Nancy.
You're going to go with Nancy?
I quite like Nancy.
Well, welcome to Dickens country.
Yes,
you've seen there. Explain why it's Dickens country.
This is Saffron, a street called Saffron Hill.
Yes.
Which is very close to Hatton Garden and Leather Lane Market. And this is the One Ton pub, which Charles Dickens was drinking.
Yes.
And he put Bill Sykes in the book, in the film.
Became This Is Boozer.
This was his local.
And indeed, Saffron Hill is where Fagin's warehouse was.
Yeah.
Which is a good reason for us to be here, because we're going to pick a few pockets from another warehouse around these parts as well, and also talk about a very famous shirt.
Simon Parr.
Simon Parr, who we know from obviously the world of Gabici. Sign us again. And this is Mr. Keith Brown, who will be discussing a classic shirt story with forthwith. But first, gentlemen, would you show us your wares?
Yeah, hi, welcome to the London showroom. My name's Simon and I do Gabici Vintage. So this is the Gabici Vintage Spring Summer range. We've got all the lovely bright colours here. We're doing shorts, knitwear, loads and loads of different colours here. We do shirts, going into jackets, and then more the sportswear side of it. And then over here, which this is the archive range, so original pieces of 1970s Gabici that we've recreated. And then we go into this bit here with my Made in England London Coat Company. And then we've got Biella, which is here, and then Aerolite, which is the half sleeve shirt, and then we've got the Tootle scarves here. So I'm here with Keith Brown, who I share the showroom with, and we share Guards London, which is the rain Mac. So we've been doing this how long? 5 years?
Yeah, just around 5 years now.
Yeah.
We started off really introducing a reversible raincoat, because this is what they really specialise in, is raincoats. Over the last 5 years we've managed to expand the collection into some cotton jackets and just not honing in on the basic raincoat. So yeah, this is working really well for us. And then we move into John White shoes. Okay, so as Simon said, we share the showroom. We work together on Guards, but I've been doing John White now for over 10 years, based in Northampton, and what you see on the table are really our classic never out of stock lines, which we add to in different colours each season. We do a classic, as you see, a classic loafer, and we sort of get repeats on that through the season. And then if you move over to this side, some of the seasonal things we've introduced there's a lovely suede loafer, another casual loafer, and this white sole unit is becoming really popular now. And this is not a speciality of John White, but we've tried to go a lot more casual and done a lovely classic sneaker and a new chucker boot.
So we've shown you the area, and the fellas have shown you their wares that they've got here. But kind of more importantly is now we're going to do some real history from the world of fashion, because Mr. Keith Brown is here alongside us. And this building is more than familiar to you, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's really strange coming back into the building, because yeah, this was my last office showrooms that I worked at Ben Sherman.
Not a proper job.
Proper job, yeah. when I was like totally employed, I was just working with Ben Sherman, and I'd been with him a long time, and we travelled all over, offices all over London, but this was our final, or my final building.
Amazing.
And we were lucky enough to, we were working with Simon, and we've been over in Fitzroy Square for about 6 years now. And we found out quite late that we couldn't use the showroom. So where are we going to go? And this building was mentioned. I said, I'm not sure I want to go back there. Anyway, we do sort of agree the time, and we managed to get the space, and it's worked really well.
I love this kind of like squaring the circle for you. Before we kind of get into, because the Ben Sherman mythology and culture is an amazing story, but your personal version of this is really interesting, of where you came from professionally,
yes,
to get into the salesman's world. Tell us all about that.
Well, you've got to go back a long time.
Many years.
All right,
years.
Bax.
Yeah, you don't have to emphasise it that much.
Many years.
Too many.
Yeah. So, yeah. But the story is, basically, I really wanted to be a footballer. That's all I wanted to do is play. I had trials at, this is going like 14, 15 years old, trials at Chelsea and Fulham. I didn't make it. And a friend of mine who knew a scout down in Charlton, he came to watch me play. He took me to Charlton and I got in. So I was there I left school at 15 and I was an apprentice there for 3 years. But towards the end of the last season, that's the really crunch time. Back then there wasn't any sort of if you didn't make it, there was no safety net.
Nowadays they look after
they look after young players.
No academy as such.
No academy as such. So there was my youth coach at the time. You might even know the name, Theo Foley.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who went on to work with George Graham and Arsenal. Won the league. And there was another guy there, Colin Murphy. Sort of took me under his wing, and basically I didn't know what to do. I thought, I just want to play football. Where am I going to go now? And he took me to Dulwich Hamlet.
Yeah.
He said, I think you need to take a step down, play non-league, and then work your way back up again. So that's what I did. I went to Dulwich Hamlet, but then it just dawned on me to go, I don't think I'm going to make it as a pro. I need to find a job. So back in those days, it's not like you had a recruitment guy. You used to get jobs through the Evening Standard.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Now I grew up.
Get you
Yeah.
So I'm on the tube one day, and bear in mind, growing up 14, 15, I was wearing Ben Sherman. I love Ben Sherman. We all had
massive name.
10 or 12 colours. If you saw somebody wearing a different colour, you did. Where'd you find that?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so you would go, and I used to shop in.
Horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, you remember this.
I do remember.
On Woolworth Road, I used to go to Governor's.
Yeah.
Ben Sherman, they had the whole collection there. So I'm on the tube one day, and I see this job advertised, trainee sales rep, Ben Sherman. There you go. I'll apply for that.
Yeah.
How old are you at this point?
So I'm just coming about 18, going into 19.
Right.
I go over there, and the guy who interviewed me was from Dulwich, lived in Dulwich at the time, and he was sales director guy, lovely guy who I still look up to now because he's no longer here, but I learned so much of him. A guy called Terry Doyle, and we quickly got on because I wore Ben Sherman. And he said, so where do you buy? Do you know any of the shops? So I'm going Governor's.
Yeah.
Straight away, I just felt within 10 minutes I've got this job.
You're in. What I love about this, which is to pick up on this point, Bax, is that it is a language, isn't it? It's a code. And if you don't know the code,
Got the shirt.
Yeah, the whole culture.
The thing about that shirt, I was, when you think about it, it was a button-down shirt, but it was a low little details in that shirt.
Yeah.
That we as little geezers I'd never seen.
No.
The locker loop, the button at the back.
Yeah.
You see the range of colours. Because he'd been working in the States, Ben Sherman himself was in the States.
That's right.
And he brought it all back when he came
He
back.
brought it back.
So
It was like 63. I mean,
Right.
that's when he started
he
down in
brought
Brighton.
those Ivy League details.
Yes.
And once that got through into the people in the street, man, it was...
But not an accident, I'm assuming. I mean, he very deliberately knew what he was doing. It wasn't just, these have taken off?
Well, it's very similar to the. You've done a lot of work with John Simons,
Sure.
who went over to America, and you suddenly seen this Ivy League, which was his world. Well, Ben did the same.
Right.
He's gone in. He's like, the pennies dropped. Suddenly, there's a light bulb moment. And he's gone. We haven't got this in the UK.
No, that's
I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
So off it went, and it just flew.
Yeah. It was so honestly, it was so aspirational. I can remember I was only a kid, really, you know, when late 60s, I mean 8 or 9 or whatever. I can remember the bum fights to try and get this.
Yes.
A real one, not a snide, not a market one, a proper real one. It was
Well, that would have been an interesting part of your world, I guess, wouldn't it?
Well, it was, because I say, even at 12, 13, I used to see my uncles going, and they would go, like, he's wearing Ben Sherman.
Yes.
Ben Sherman was like the one to have.
It was the one to have, yeah.
It's a strange one, because I guess to a certain extent, because it's a smart look, it could be as sharp on a 15-year-old and he's wearing it a different way
Exactly.
for a 35-year-old.
Yeah.
Would that have been the case even in those days, at the early
Absolutely.
days? Yeah?
And you used to try and wear it. You have a school uniform. And you used to get around that by, well, I wear my white one. I wear
Nice.
So suddenly you were the coolest guy at school, weren't you? You got Ben Sherman.
Oh, nice work.
Yeah.
Did you have a white Ben and then you put your school tie in it?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he's always been a snappy dresser.
That's
That's where he started, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they were Brighton firm, weren't they? Was he based down there? Yeah.
Based in Brighton, yeah. First factory was in Brighton.
In terms of the way, because of course the thing about this is, well, it's all well and good, but cultures change. As well we know, Ben Sherman's around even today. I mean, they're dressing the Olympians and stuff like that. But did you hit a point when you were working with them that when there's suddenly a bit of a cliff and drops off?
Absolutely, and he did it several times.
Oh, right.
I literally, I joined Ben Sherman when I got the job. That was 1972, and I joined with it.
So they've been going 10 years to ride that stage.
Yeah. So they were riding the crest of a wave, but that was unknown to me. We were about to go on a dip, and from about 1972 through to 75, when Ben had to sell the bit and move to Australia and all of that, we were on it, you know, and we had to change tack and that's the danger with a brand, is because you start to follow other trends, but that your core look is just.
And they lost their way a little bit. They did, didn't they? Yeah.
Lost their way, but then it, like, if you hold tight, it comes back
It's
around
a very
again.
interesting
Yeah,
point.
that's right.
It's the same in the way that music works in the same way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But of course, you've got to have probably taken a bit of a hit to have learned that lesson.
To learn the lesson.
Yeah. If you're so clever that you've ridden the wave, because you don't worry, it's coming back. I'd be amazed if anyone's.
Well, we did, because we had to move away. Suddenly, button downs weren't.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it became. We called it. It was quite funny. We had we had to give collars names.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like Brian and it.
Yeah, almost.
like your dogs.
like your dog. So Terry Doyle, we're all sitting around with some of the agents, and we got there's little point collars.
Yeah.
So he said, all right, so what are we going to call this? And Terry's looked round, he's got his cigarette, and he's got a packet of Rothmans. So he said, we call it Roth. Right? So,
Are you telling me it's as random as this?
It's as random as that.
No market research there.
To be fair, he took 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, had a fag. Yeah.
It was like George Cole. It was like George Cole. So he's done that. So you go through that period of time, and then you're waiting for button down, the whole look to go. But you can't just not do it. You've got to have it in your collection all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's always people, even though the numbers dropped, that still the purists, they all still know.
You'll have faith. You'll have a faithful market.
You have a faithful following.
Yeah.
And which we managed to keep until there was one little blip. I don't mention it in here, but there was another brand who tried to take our mantle with Brutus. Brutus come
I
along.
was going to mention there must have been
Well,
rivals. Obviously, seen the pound up that Ben was throwing over.
Yeah.
There's a pound
And
up
I've
there.
got to be honest with you, because I'm not quite of your persuasion. I know full well that there's photographs of me out there in what would have to have been a Brutus, because I know that would have been bought because it was a new thing and a cheaper thing.
Cheaper.
Probably not quite as nicely made.
Yeah.
And
Cheaper-
also,
cheaper
by the way,
option.
jumbo collars. So it's like it'd be the 70s period, that would have been.
No, and as I say, in the height, I mean, I've mentioned a few names, but there was a designer at the time who worked with Ben, who got a lot of influence from America.
Yeah.
And he found a fabric that I don't think there's even around anymore, called Dam River. Paul at John Simons would know. I think he's still like with BD Baggies. And Ben Sherman was that quality of fabric. Brutus couldn't even compete with that.
I suppose we forget about, we underestimate the fact that, of course, you assume that shirt just turned up out of nowhere. Someone's got to have designed it, and someone's got to source the material, someo's got to put it together.
Well,
These things are important, aren't they?
I read a figure. He was saying he was importing like 1 million yards of Ivy League of Oxford cloth from the States, because he started in the States. So
that can't have been cheap. But
the quality would always sell.
Would always stand up. You know,
they needed the quality.
So the thing they never did, they kind of, I guess, tried not to compromise, I suppose.
That's right. Yeah, we wouldn't compromise. Even though we were expensive, it prevailed, you know, and the purists stayed with it.
Considering how long we're talking about there, it's a name that people still know the name today, don't they?
Absolutely.
It just shows what footprint it had at the time, because a lot of the younger ones today would not have known it, what we went through, what we saw.
That's
but
right.
the name is still there. I know it's still a company still going, but it's got a lot of kudos.
It is still going. I mean, and even through my time, I think I went through 3 or 4 changes of ownership.
Really?
Yeah, and when Ben, I'd gone on the road by then. I was doing my first area down in the West Country. But in 1975, the government had to step in and take the company over. Because in Ireland, it was the shirt capital for factories. And
Is it Belfast?
it was in Belfast, London, Derry. Sorry.
Derry,
you've got to be
Sure,
careful.
of course.
Yeah.
So
Like the trouble. So.
we had 16 factories.
Yeah, wow.
Crazy. It's crazy.
The numbers were incredible.
By the way, is this the same era of that car? Now, Keith used to drive a Reps car.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's a picture popping up now, but even if not, describe it to the world.
Well, it was.
You used to flash around it.
Yeah. So it was quite strange because I needed to go on the road, and I hadn't passed my driving test.
Oh, that's obviously slightly
slightly
covered.
So he said,
slightly
right,
cut there.
we need you to start on 2
Tomorrow.
weeks. 2 weeks. Anyways, so I got my first car, which was an old Morris Oxford.
Classic. That'll put the miles in.
Right? You know, so I can't turn up in a Morris Oxford selling Ben Sherman. Right? So he said, and the guy at the time, he's gone.
Oxford cloth.
Don't worry about that. He said, we've got company car coming in. And it was the Ford Mexico, 1974.
Have you seen this thing?
I don't think I
It
have.
is
I'm not
a
really.
thing of beauty.
Is it?
Yeah.
By the way,
Is it in there? A photo of it here?
you'd notice it coming down the road. I'm going with that.
Well, it also ties in, because 74, it ties in with my football hero, Jimmy Greaves, who wasn't in the England squad for the 74 World Cup.
No.
So he said, okay, I'm not in the squad, and he loved driving. So he went as a co-driver for the Mexico
That's right.
rally.
Yeah.
and drove the Ford
Oh, so
Mexico.
all of a sudden,
I'm driving Jimmy Greaves' car.
That's it. Job done.
That's all,
Job done.
all you
Job
need.
done.
Yeah.
But obviously, you've moved on. And you mentioned DB Baggers, by the way, and is this your DB Baggers show?
BD Baggy.
No, this is Universal Works.
This is a beautiful thing.
Well, this is over. Universal Works is a. I'm not sure how long it's been going, but they were the first to bring this sort of workwear sort of look. This must be 10 years old.
Well, see, classic stuff. So when you obviously you stopped working for Ben Sherman at some point, but I guess it sticks with you, doesn't it? That kind of part of your life.
No, people know that there's some people that we have. Simon deals with them as well. Stuart Gordon down in Brighton. whose father, Les, knew Ben.
Wow.
We've got pictures of Ben. Funny, when you asked me about doing this, I said, I've got to get the memorabilia out. And Stuart gave me a picture of Ben Sherman. This was 1963-64, I think, when he came back from America. And they're sitting in deck chairs on a Sunday afternoon in Preston Park.
Yeah.
Where we had the hotel when we did our hotel shows down in Brighton.
Brilliant.
So I've got fond memories of Brighton and the link up with all of that.
And I kind of, just to finish on, I read about it, is that I like the fact, I think it makes so much sense, is that you met Ben Sherman, Fred Perry. Words, names. First of all,
they all link.
Names that you think might just be names. Most people might just have made up
real
names.
People, yeah.
But actual people.
Real people, yeah.
And those two sit next to each other, I think, for me, culturally.
Well, I think that's really, you're talking about Ben Sherman when it goes off the boil. And the difference with, you take one that sticks in my mind is you take Paul Smith.
Yeah.
You've got somebody who's still involved in the business, who's in control of their destiny.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna chase figures.
No.
I'm going to stick to this is what we do, and we'll ride the waves.
Sure.
And we'll come through at the end of it.
Definitely learn a lot from those guys. People like Ben Sherman.
Yeah.
Of course, but Ben Sherman, as soon as you say Ben Sherman, like you say, Fred Perry, you know what you're thinking about.
You know what you're doing.
And immediately it's something which is contemporary again. So amazing. And as we say, Keith, the fact that here we are, nearly 120 years. Oh no, so that was the Dickens. We did Dickens earlier. Yeah.
I think I might have been 10 when I joined, and I used to clean the chimney.
There would have been one hell of a chimney in this warehouse when you started. Keith, thank you so much indeed.
My pleasure.
What a lovely story. Thank you, my son. There you go. That's a little trip down memory lane with Clobbered.